Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Hauri Dwani, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about Charlotte Tilbury. So Charlotte Tilbury has arrived in Mecca Maxima, and if you can't tell, I'm trying to contain my excitement as much as possible, but I am super excited. Regular viewers on my channel will know that Charlotte Tilbury is one of my favorite brands of all time. I think that they sell really stunning products that are really good quality. They are housed in the most sophisticated packaging, and the products are aimed to deliver a soft, effortless look for anyone who buys their products. Charlotte Tilbury has also gotten their Leaping Bunny certification very recently, which means that they are now certified cruelty-free, thank goodness. And some of their products happens to be vegan as well, if that is something that you prefer as well. So the way that I'm going to be structuring this video is I'm going to give you an overview of my collection. I'm going to give short, snappy reviews on each of the products that I do have. And then I'm going to end this video by talking about 5 products that I would repurchase and recommend to my friends and family if they were to ask me what they should get from Charlotte Tilbury. And then I'm also going to share some of the products that I do plan to purchase from the brand when it finally comes out in the Mecca store. I also will be including swatches throughout this video, so feel free to take a screenshot of any products that you are most interested in buying. And yeah, so let's just get straight into it. Oh, and for reference, I have quite dry skin and I consider myself to be medium golden in skin tone as well. Okay, so let's start with the base products. So I have 3 products that I've tried from this brand. So the first is the Hollywood Flawless Filter in the shade number 4. I think that this product is stunning underneath foundation if you want a bit of a glow. If you've got really good skin, this also looks really beautiful on its own to give you a very blurred, glowy effect to your skin. The second product that I have is the Light Wonder Foundation in the shade 7 Medium. The Light Wonder Foundation is an absolute favorite for me. I think that the coverage of this is very similar to a tinted moisturizer, so light to medium coverage. And it also gives you this lit from within look that I think is a trademark of Charlotte Tilbury. This product is perfect for everyday makeup, but I have also worn this at night. I'm actually wearing it in this video as well. And once you set it with a light layer of powder to mattify it, I think that this also looks fantastic at night as well. The third base product that I have is the Airbrush Flawless Foundation in the shade 7.5 Medium. I would describe this foundation as having a medium to full coverage with a satin to matte finish. I would actually attribute this to being quite similar to the Too Faced Born This Way foundation, but a lot more matte. I do also want to note that I do have drier skin, so this isn't my favorite foundation as I find that it settles into my lines a little bit, but if you have combination to oily skin, I think this might work better for you. And for reference, because I'm not going to be including a video of me showing you how this foundation looks, I'm going to insert a photo so that you can actually see what it looks like on my skin. Now let's move on to the cheek products. I only have one to share with you, and that is the Filmstar Bronze and Glow Duo. As you can see, I adore this product. The pan is well and truly defined in the bronze shade. In my opinion, it has this beautiful neutral to warm beige tone which you can use to lightly contour and bronze your cheeks. And the highlighter is quite subtle and understated, which to be honest, I prefer over the shiny highlighters you get on the market today. The bronze tone is also very subtle on my medium skin tone, and I think that it looks really nice as a natural matte brown eyeshadow look on days when I'm just using the one product to do my makeup. So moving on to palettes, so I have one face palette, one large eyeshadow palette, and 2 quads to share with you today. So the face palette, known as the Instant Look in a Palette in the shade Gorgeous Glowing Beauty, is one that I got quite a few years ago actually. And if you are starting out with Charlotte Tilbury, I think that getting one of the face palettes is a great way to get an idea of the quality and the performance of Charlotte Tilbury's products. You get 1 bronzer, 2 blushes, a highlighter, and 3 eyeshadows. I chose this one specifically as the coloring of it suits my skin tone very well, and it also has a mix of light and darker shades that I can play around with. It's also perfect for travel, not that we're doing much of that at the moment, but it's also great if you want all of your products in one palette to just grab and go in the morning. The second palette I have is the Pillow Talk Instant Eye Palette, which houses a lot of pink shades. The formula of this, I would say, is very similar to the Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow palettes in the sense that they are a little bit powdery, but it is buildable as opposed to the raw pigment that I feel you get with the Anastasia Beverly Hills shadows. I also have two eyeshadow quads to share with you. One of them was called Dolce Vita, but I think it's now called Bella Sofia, and the other one, which was called Walk of Shame, I think is now called Walk of No Shame. I would say that the formula of these are quite similar to the Tom Ford quads in the sense that it's in a way sort of grown up glitter, and it's very wearable and buildable as well. However, for longevity, I think that the Tom Ford quads do outperform the Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadows, but in saying that, I think that the Charlotte Tilbury quads are a good shout if you want to save yourself the $40 and $50 if the Tom Ford one happens to be out of your price range. So moving on to the eye specific products, I've got a couple of cream eyeshadows, a few eyeliners, and a mascara to talk about in this category. The Eyes to Mesmerize cream shadow, I personally really love these. I think that they give a very glossy sheen to your lids. It's quite creamy and it helps you achieve that sort of glossy editorial look. It won't be as long wearing as say the Maybelline Color Tattoos or the Laura Mercier eyeshadow sticks, but if you don't mind the slightly messy undone eyeshadow look, personally I really love that look, then I would say that this product is for you. I also have two eyeliners from Charlotte Tilbury, one in the shade Classic Brown and the other is in the shade Pillow Talk. I personally really love these. I think that they perform really well. The last product in the eye category is the Full Fat Lashes Mascara. Personally, I think that this mascara is just okay. I don't know if I would repurchase it again. I've got quite thin, sparse, and short lashes that point downwards. And although I feel like this mascara does a little bit for length, I feel like it doesn't give me as much volume as I want. And so because of that, I kind of prefer the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara or the Lights Camera Lashes mascara from Tarte. Moving on to my favorite category, and that is lipsticks. Oh my goodness. As you can see, I have a lot of lipsticks from Charlotte Tilbury. I think that the packaging is elegant and I believe that her color options are unbeatable. So many of her new to medium tone lipsticks are perfect for everyday wear. Most of my favorite lipsticks are from Charlotte Tilbury, so much so that I always have at least two Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks in my bag at all times. So overall, she has two lipstick formulas, the Matte Revolution, which I would describe as more of a creamy matte. It's very comfortable on the lip. It's my favorite matte formula of all lipsticks that I've tried. And then there's also the KISSING line, which is more of a creamy formula and it gives you more of a slightly glossy, satiny finish to your lips. And I also find that it's quite moisturizing as well. And I would consider both formulas to also be quite buildable. So for purposes of organization, I'm going to be organizing the lipstick swatches by the lipstick collections. So Charlotte Tilbury has a tendency of releasing lipstick lines or lipstick collections. So you have the classic Matte Revolution formula, the classic KISSING formulas, and then she also has like lipstick lines on top of that as well. Like for example, there is the Hot Lips line, which Charlotte Tilbury created based on, I guess, celebrities, and she sort of matched different color shades and formulas to match the celebrity that she was inspired by, I guess. So yeah, so from the classic KISSING line, I have two lipsticks. So I have American Sweetheart, which unfortunately has been discontinued, but I would describe this as being more of a warm toned pink. And then I have the Pillow Talk Intense, which I would describe as a deep brown based pink. From the classic Matte Revolution line, which is my favorite formula of the two formulas that Charlotte Tilbury has, I have Very Victoria, which is a taupe brown based nude. I have Pillow Talk Medium, which is a warm brown based berry pink shade, and it is the lipstick I'm wearing in this video. I also have Bond Girl, which has now been changed to Am I Kiss, and I would describe this shade as being more of a muted berry. I have Walk of Shame, which has now been wonderfully changed to Walk of No Shame, and I would describe this shade as being more of a berry rose shade. And then I have Scarlet Spell, which I would describe as being a deep brown based red. One of my favorite lipstick lines is the Hot Lips 2 collection. One thing I love about this collection particularly is that you can just buy the lipstick packaging once, and then after that you can just buy the refills after, which I think is just great because it means that you just have the one packaging. It's really sustainable, and it means that you're not wasting on the packaging once you're done with your lipstick. And the shades that I have from this collection is Enigmatic Edward, which is more of a lip balm. I have Viva La Vagara, which is my favorite shade from this line, and I would describe this as being a matte medium brown based pink, which is very wearable for every single day. The third shade I have is Glowing Jen, which I would describe as being more of a medium flesh toned creamy nude. I also have Amazing Amal, which is more of a matte berry shade, and then I have Patsy Red, which is more of a matte bright blue based red. So from the original Hot Lips collection, I have the shade Miranda May, which is more of a coral pink. And I also have 3 lipstick shades from her Look of Love lipsticks, which is more of like her bridal line, if you want to call it that. So I have Wedding Bells, which I would describe as a rosebud pink, Mrs. Kisses, which is a golden peachy pink, and First Dance, which is a blushed berry rose. The final lip product that I have is a collagen lip bath that I got for free in one of my orders, which I have in the shade Peachy Plump, which is a golden glossy peachy pink. I'm not really much of a gloss person, so this doesn't really do much for me, but if gloss is your thing, then I would say maybe try it out and see how you like it. On to my favorite products that I would repurchase again and would recommend to my friends and family. The first one is the Light Wonder Foundation. I think that this is the perfect everyday foundation. It's really lightweight, it's glowy, it has light to medium coverage, and I think that it just looks really beautiful on the skin. The second product that I would recommend would be the Filmstar Bronze and Glow. I think that this is perfect for eyeshadow, bronzer, and highlighter all in one, and it's very subtle, which is my preference when it comes to makeup. The third product that I would recommend is actually the eyeliners, specifically the Pillow Talk eyeliner, because I think that the color of it is very unique in my collection. The fourth product I would recommend is her lipsticks. Honestly, any of them. I think that her lipsticks are just fantastic. I cannot recommend them enough. The key takeaway that you should get from this video, and if I could recommend just one product for you to get from Charlotte Tilbury, just buy one of her lipsticks. But if I had to pick 3 top, I guess, everyday shades that I would recommend to anyone, oh, why would I do this to myself? Now I have to actually think about it. Okay, so if I had to pick 3 shades that I would recommend to everyone, I would say get one of the Pillow Talk lipsticks, either in the original, medium, or intense shade, depending on your preferences and skin tone. I would also recommend Viva La Vagara from the Hot Lips 2 collection. I think that this is a great everyday shade. And then I would say Glowing Jen is another one that I would recommend. Finally, the last product I would recommend is the Instant Look in a Palette. I think that if you're starting out with Charlotte Tilbury and you want to sample some of her products, I would say get this. It's really amazing value for money, and it's really nice because you get less of the products as well. So if you don't like something, at least you didn't shell out, you know, $50, $60 on a product. You have it all in a palette, and you can multi-use them for different things as well. So for example, the bronzer shade, generally use that as eyeshadow as well. And one thing I love as well, because it's all in one palette, it also means that in the morning, if you're rushing to get ready and you don't want to be reaching for like 5, 6 products at once, it also means that you have it all in one palette as well, which I think is great. If you're watching this on the day that Charlotte Tilbury launches in Mecca, which should be 21st of September, I do plan on buying a few products from her line. Specifically, I was thinking about getting the Airbrush Flawless Finish face powder in the shade medium because I hear that it's really good for dry skin. I also really want to try some of her lip liners as well. And the last product that I really want to get is one of her cream blushes as well, because I have seen some videos and pictures of it and I think it looks incredible. So that's it for this video. I hope that this video was useful and helpful in helping you to decide which products that you want to try from Charlotte Tilbury. One thing that I think would actually be kind of fun is if you left a comment down below to let me know which products you're actually planning on trying from Charlotte Tilbury, and we can have a little bit of discussion and we can fangirl over the brand because I love the brand so much. Now I'm starting to geek out. If you haven't already, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to support my little channel. It really helps me out. Thanks so much for watching my video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!